a segment we like to call What's New at Niacc. And every week we talk with different faculty from Niacc to find out what is going on as far as what's new at Niacc. So Molly is with us for the What's New at Niacc. And Molly, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so the Niacc Foundation, we're going to talk a little bit about that. They award over $1 million in scholarships each year. So if somebody's thinking about attending Niacc next year, what do they need to know about applying for some of that money or even eligibility?
Right. So we're in the midst of application season for scholarships, and you're right. The foundation last year awarded over $1.7 million in scholarships to students to attend school here. Most of our scholarships are for full-time students, but we've got some part-time scholarships as well. And our scholarships are available to all students who there's some available based on programs, there's some based on where students are from. There's special talent scholarships. So perhaps if they're involved in vocal music or instrumental music or athletics, there are scholarships really for all types of students. And so we have one application that students fill out, and it's has a priority deadline of March 1st. And, we tell students to take their time filling it out. I would say even if they took their time, it would take them about 45 minutes to an hour. They should spend a little time on their short answers, have someone review them and edit them, help them look it over, make sure that they're clear, they say what they want to say, and tell their story a little bit, because a student can walk out of there with $1,000 or $2,000 for an hour of time. That's pretty good return on investment. So we ask our students. Scholarship application is live until school starts in the fall, but there is a priority deadline of March 1st. So that's quickly approaching. And we encourage all students who are considering Niacc for next year, returning students, new students, and even students who are going to graduate this year. We have a few scholarships that go on to other institutions. But to apply, put their name in the ring and give it their best effort, and we'll review those and get back to them this spring, so that they'll know what their financial status might look like for the fall. So that deadline is coming up very soon, and like I said, it's a priority deadline. So that means that the students who apply before March 1st will get preference over students who apply later. So that doesn't mean they won't get scholarships later, but we really would love them to apply before March 1st.
Now, what if, and I know some parents probably worried about it, maybe some of the students are worried about it. What if I answer a question incorrectly, or is there an incorrect answer or a not fulfilled answer on the application?
We want them to fill it out as completely as possible. But, sometimes students do change their mind. So a student might be coming here and deciding they might think they're going to go into business and then decide, oh, maybe I want to change. I want to go into agriculture or something like that.
Sure.
If they've already submitted their application, they can contact us here in the foundation office. We can open their application for them back up, and they can change their answer. So we work with students who maybe submitted them early and have a few changes. We do that sometimes, but fill them out as completely as possible, because how they fill that out will determine what scholarships they're eligible for. So whatever I choose as my area of study or my interests or things I might participate in, those will put me into different available pots of money for scholarships. So they want to fill it out as completely and honestly as possible.
Yeah, you definitely want to take advantage of it, even though it is a little bit of paperwork. But like you said, it's a great return on your investment of time to get that filled out. And I just know that just from having kids going to Niacc.
Yep. It really can make a difference. There's a lot of scholarships available. We have so many generous people in North Iowa and friends of Niacc from around the country, really, that are supporting our Niacc students. And so there are really scholarships for all kinds of students. Some are for students with a GPA between 2.0 and 3.0. Some are for, Mason City and Newman students. It really varies. We have hundreds of different scholarships, and they all have a little bit of a different flavor. So odds are you'll fit in one of those pots.
Yeah, where can you find the applications for the different types of scholarships?
So everything's available on our website. So I
Okay.
would go to niac.edu/scholarships, or through financial aid page or scholarship page. There's a link on our foundation page. I think there's lots of different avenues to find it. And really anyone in admissions, financial aid, the foundation office, we're all available to help students find the application and help them fill it out. And I mentioned before having somebody take a look at it, review it. And, there's lots of folks on campus who would help students do that as well. In my experience, lots of area high school students will review, or high school teachers and counselors will help students with their scholarship applications as well. So, from my experience, there's a lot of people in our communities that want our students to do well, and there's always help for them around here.
Absolutely. Changing gears just a little bit, Molly. What if somebody's in the community that would like to donate towards some student scholarships, or even maybe create their own type of scholarship? I know we have one here from the radio station.
You do. So we have hundreds of scholarship funds, and like I mentioned, they are from area businesses, alumni. They're alumni around the country, friends of the college. They're also from businesses who are looking for future employees. They want to invest in a certain program. So we're working with certain companies for instance, a heating and cooling scholarship. So
Sure.
they're looking for future employees, so they want to invest in those students. But there are lots of ways to do scholarships, but the two most common ways, are well, there's two types of scholarships: a term scholarship and an endowed scholarship. A term scholarship is, as long as we've got the money here, we're going to send it out for awards. So if a donor decides to put $2,000 towards a scholarship, then next fall we're going to award $2,000 directly to a Niak student, or students. It depends on the donor. An endowed scholarship is a longer term investment. It's a minimum of $10,000. And we invest that money and we spend only the interest and earnings. So we have a 5% return on that. And we spend the $10,000 fund, we're going to spend $500 every year. Um, we like all of our scholarships to be at the $1,000 level, with the cost of education going up. And our students get the scholarship for the whole year. So they get half in the fall and half in the spring when they enroll. And so we'd like to see that minimum of $1,000 scholarship for our students. But it's easy to give. And there's my team here in the foundation office is always visiting with folks who are interested in giving scholarships. And we are surrounded by some really generous people in North Iowa who have invested in our students. And really, it's an investment in our community because our students continue to live and work in our communities and give back in that way. So we have a lot of people that believe in what we do here at the college and in our students. So this is a great job. It's a great place to be.
Yeah. And there's so many different places, Molly, that a person could donate their money to, but what makes Niak the great choice? And maybe you already kind of said that, but
Yeah, I'm a little bit biased here. I am a Niak grad myself. I benefited from scholarships when I was here. My dad is one of 9 kids. They all came to Niak. My grandma's a Niak alum, so I'm a third generation Niak alum, and I feel really strongly about what we do here and the value that Niak provides for our community. And so I think it's a great investment. I said a minute ago, most of our students live and work in our communities. They continue to stay here. If you look at some of the Regents alumni numbers, about half of Regents institution alums leave the state.
mhm.
We're keeping most of our Niak grads right here in Iowa and specifically in North Iowa. So an investment in those students is an investment in our future, in our community's future.
I have like a little cheat sheet. It says 91% of Niak students stay in North Iowa. That's a
Yeah.
huge number.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's an impact that ripples throughout our community, and we're proud of that. We're proud of our graduates who are out working in our communities and making a difference throughout all of North Iowa.
Yeah. And the other thing too, that just some of the statistics that that I got, that I researched. Believe it or not, a dollar invested in Niacc returns $9.80 to the community, and your gift is tax deductible too.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. And, I'm really proud of the work we do here in the foundation. Our foundation has grown exponentially over the last 20 years, and we solely support the mission of the college. But I would say almost all of what we do goes back to direct student support. We did some fundraising for buildings and things on campus, but a majority of what we do is reinvested back with our students, is scholarships. That's sort of the bread and butter of the Niak Foundation, if you will. But we have over $45 million of assets here in the foundation, and we are using those to support students to the best of our ability. We've got a great group of board members who are volunteers who take their job, really their fiduciary responsibilities, very seriously, and understand that the work we do, it matters, and it impacts all of us. And so, yeah, we're really proud of the work that we do here. And you mentioned the tax deductibility of these gifts. There is a benefit to donors if they're itemizing their taxes, and we'll help them work through that. But there's a lot of great opportunities for donors in our community right now. Several folks have taken advantage of being able to roll over some of their IRA to us. So there's an advantage to them if they're over 70 and a half to do that. Then they have to take so much out of their IRA accounts, a mandatory distribution or a qualified distribution, and they can roll that to the Niak Foundation and not get taxed on that. So then they get a benefit that way. And I would encourage folks to visit with their financial planners and things like that. But we have seen a major uptick in donations from folks' IRA accounts, and it's a great service for our donors, and it's a way for them to give back without really noticing too much on their end. It's some money that they have to take out, maybe don't need right now, so they're rolling that over to Niak Foundation or other charities in our community, and doing great work with it. So that's been a great option for a lot of people in our community in the last couple of years.
I believe strongly too. I mean, a great company starts at the top with the management and ownership or whatever it is. And you got a great president there at Niacc. Steve does a great job. And like I said, it shows for the people that you talk to at Niacc.
Yeah, we do. Steve does a great job, and he's really involved in what we do here in the foundation, and he's out raising some money for the college too. And we've
He's
got
always, he's always talking money, isn't he? Yeah.
yeah, we've got some important projects coming up, and he's out
Yeah.
there talking to folks, and um, you know, he does set the tone. We have a lot of things we're proud of out here, and we like to share them, and he's our biggest cheerleader to get those things done.
Yeah, super nice guy. I mean, I'm sure you know of another guy that I know really well is that Chris Friends guy.
Yeah, Chris, he's been doing some fundraising for his golf team, so we've been working with him a little bit too. Yeah. But his golf students all benefit from these scholarships too. So we work with him on awarding some scholarships, and yeah, he does a great job working with adult students.
Yeah, he does do a good job. So, just a reminder, prospective students to fill out the Niacc application and scholarship application before March 1st.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get
So,
those applications in. Won't take them very long to do it. If they need some assistance, there are lots of folks out here that'd be glad to help. But the application is pretty straightforward. It shouldn't take too much time. But take some time, fill it out. Make sure you review your answers, submit them. But priority deadline is March 1st.
yeah. And again, if you want to check out the full entire video interview if you want to check out the entire interview, you can go to our website, 987kisscountry.com for the whole What's New at Niacc interview and get some more details or all the details just in case you're just tuning in right now. But Molly Knoll from Niacc helping us out with the scholarship applications. Molly, again, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And you, like you said, it's interesting to hear your story about going to Niacc and your family tree that all went through Niacc. And do you have kids that are going to go through Niacc too eventually?
I, I hope so. I've got two girls. One's a seventh grader and one's a fourth grader. They go to Newman, and they've been the ball girls for the Nyack women's basketball team for many many years, and since they were little. And they talk about when they're coming out here too. So hopefully we'll get that fourth generation out here soon.
And you think there'd be a scholarship for that, being the ball girls?
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. We talked about something this morning that I found kind of interesting, got a lot of reaction about it. And I'd be curious if it ever happened when you were little or when your kids, you just had the two girls, did they play with Legos?
Yes, they do.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Did you play with Legos when you were younger?
I don't recall as much. I remember my sister had some, but I didn't play with them as much. But my kids do. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't one of those, as your kid, you kind of think about it, but you don't, depend on your age. As I will never have those when I get, when I become a parent, because, you don't get them all picked up all the time.
Uh-huh.
There's two things that happen. They either go through the vacuum cleaner
Hmm.
or they end up underneath dad's foot.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Our Legos are now confined to a table in the basement. And
Uh-huh.
so we step on them far less frequently than we used to.
Yeah, right. At least maybe you have some shoes on now.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that, boy, I tell you, you could hear some words that you never knew existed when dad
Hmm.
stepped on them.
Might be the worst toy ever to step on.
Right.
Right.
Right. Lincoln
Right.
Logs, not so bad. Don't have sharp edges. Right.
True. There's no Lincoln Logs at our house, but there are a ton of Legos.
See, I think
Yeah,
everybody has a story about Legos.
that's probably true. That is
Yeah.
probably true. Yeah.
Well, Molly, again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us here this morning, and looking forward to seeing what you guys get for more scholarship donations, and it's got to be a great feeling to be able to donate that much money to area students or even students outside the area that want to come in and continue their education at Niacc.
Yeah, it's really the best part of what we get to do. And every year we hear from students who say, I would not have come. I couldn't have come without this scholarship. And it's a great reminder for all of us in our office and across campus that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do, to
Yeah.
give students an opportunity for an education.
Yeah. And you know what? When you talk at community college, one of the best in the United States, and especially here in Iowa too, to continue go through Niacc first to find out what you want to do. Like you mentioned, people come in here to do business, they maybe change it to agriculture, and then they want to pursue their education and further in a bigger industry or university. This is a great way to do it.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do when I came to school here. And I was not sure I still know, but I came to Niacc and then I went to UNI, and the 2 years here really prepared me to be a much better student at the university level. And so I had a great experience here, and I hope many, many others do too. We've got a 100-year history. There's, over 30,000 alumni, and we're
Wow.
really proud of the impact we've had over 100 years.
Yeah. And like Chris Friends, if you just didn't have the tuition, the money to pay for the tuition, you just continue to work there. You'll love me for that saying that.
He's not even here to defend himself, is he? Yeah.
No, and that's why I can say it. I'm sure I'll hear about it from him somewhere. But no, that's not true. But I like to make stories up every now and then.
Oh, funny. Good. Good. Good.
Well, Molly, again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today for the What's New at Niacc.
Thanks for having me.